50-50 with names.
I'll take the Southeastern. Are we all set to go? Just tell me when you're ready. Oh, okay. Good evening, and welcome back to another presentation of Westport Varsity Girls Basketball. Tonight, the Westport Wildcats look to maintain a very long winning streak and look to continue to clinch the 2024 Mayflower Athletic Conference regular season championship. Tonight, the Wildcats will be taking on the 12-6 Southeastern Hawks. And joining me tonight, I have Vice Principal of Westport High School, Mr. Granfield.
Thanks for having me, Jack. I'm ready for an exciting game.
Should be a very good one tonight. Last time these two teams faced off, Westport overcame Southeastern away 40-34. And this is one of the best teams on Westport's game slate this year. All right, so matchup just about underway here in the Westport Gymnasium. This Thursday night matchup important for both these teams. Southeastern playoff hopefuls in the Mayflower Conference, and Westport can clinch the conference championship. Starting lineup for the Wildcats out tonight: number 1, Julia George; number 3, Corinne Holden, just coming off of reaching her 1,000th point career; number 15, Megan Malloy; number 21, Jenna Egby; and number 30, Sarah Perry. And we are underway. Wildcats with the ball first, and it is Holden in control. Darts it to Malloy for the first points of the game. Wildcats get the ball back immediately. Holden deep 2, rolls off the iron. It's rebounded by George. George to the inside, pass to Malloy. Megan Malloy, 4 points to start the game.
Coach Gargiulo's got to love that start right there. Off to a quick 4-0 start. A quick basket, a steal, an offensive rebound, and another basket.
So with 7:27 left on the clock in this first quarter, Wildcats find themselves up 4-0 against the Hawks. Mendes fires for 2. That one comes up short. Yes. That one's on. She said should be. Wildcats back in control. That ball last off of Southeastern. Loy has the ball. Loy.
Interesting, because with Jenna and Megan, I feel like they could have a really good night against the zone if they're going to leave the middle wide open like that.
Beginning to show already for the Wildcats. Malloy has already had her hands on the ball 3 times tonight. It's a pass inside to Egby. She's going to take it back out to George. Julia George, 4-3.
That was a smooth shot. She caught and put that shot up quick. She knew she was ready to shoot.
Egby takes it out of there. She's going to take it down but lose it. Tipped out last. Look to see whose ball. It will be a Wildcat ball. 6:45 left in the first quarter. Wildcats up 7-0. Malloy looking, finds George.
Westport seems to have a real sense of urgency right now. They came out 2 steals already, a couple offensive rebounds. They're just totally in control to start.
One thing watching the Lady Wildcats this season, they love to have quick-paced starts to the game, really get up and start battering the other team before they even have a chance to put points on the board. Seeing that right now. Shot by Ortega. Comes up short. Wildcats come out with the ball again. Southeastern still looking for their first points of the game.
Something that might not be seen on camera right there. Julia George just came all the way from the opposite end of the corner down to the opposite block to shut off that fast break, and the team had to settle for a jump shot. Great effort by Julia to hustle back.
Great pass by Holden under the basket. Connects with Egby. It'll be 9-0 Westport heading into the timeout. So far from the Wildcats, what do you think, Mr. Granfield?
They're playing fast. Definitely totally in control. They have so far an answer for the 2 defense that Southeastern's thrown at them, and things are looking good. They just have to be able to keep the lead right now and not let Southeastern go on a run.
And for Southeastern, only 2 shots attempted so far this game. Offense has been very quiet, but kind of used to seeing that versus quite a few of the teams that the Wildcats have faced. They're excellent on defense, great at, like you said earlier with Julia George, shutting down plays.
And that's something that Miss Julia doesn't have to coach. For Julia to just sprint all the way across the court from one end to the opposite corner on the other end and shut down the fast break, that's not a drill you do in practice. That's just Julia working hard.
Hard work has paid off for the Wildcats this season. They're 14-1 right now. And with only this game and 4 more left on the schedule, they have a real opportunity to possibly win out if they can make it over the hump versus Southeastern tonight.
I'm surprised Coach Cardullo is going with a half-court defense right now out of the timeout. I thought she might have looked to apply some pressure and execute this lead, extend this lead to be double digits.
And that is number 24 for the Southeastern Hawks, Adina Blaise, called out of bounds.
Nice ball pressure by Corinne Holden right there to make her the person with the ball very uncomfortable to step out of bounds.
2 turnovers for the Hawks so far this game. Malloy in trouble. George sticks with it, goes down, will be a jump ball.
Another hustle play by Julia being the first one to get on the floor there. Caused the jump ball, just not Westport's possession, but still a great hustle play.
Southeastern come out on top. Taking it down. Tried to pass it to LaPalme. Couldn't connect.
You got to credit that to Megan Malloy's defensive pressure there too. Made the girl with the ball very uncomfortable. She tried to throw it all over the top and it went out of bounds.
Very uncontrolled pass that time. 5:10 left in the first quarter. Shot by Holden comes up short, rebounded by Blaise, who hands it off to Ortega. Ortega's going to pump the brakes. Take the 3. That one falls dead off the rim. Southeastern still has it, though. Southeastern really trying to work the ball around the perimeter so far this game.
It's a nice rebound by Jenna. Westport's in a zone right now, and that's the tough thing about playing zone is it's tough to rebound sometimes because sometimes the offense will overload a side. It's tough to go out and locate everybody. And that's how Southeastern gets the ball back and gets their first 2 points off of a second chance points right there.
On top of that, you have the height of players like Jenna Egby. Very hard to overcome.
Jenna, Megan, Sarah. Seems like Coach G is going with one of her taller lineups today, but it's paying off so far because they got a nice little lead to start. Nice play, Sarah.
Perry rejects the first shot. Ortega has it back out, in and out. Ball rejected. So Westport will stay on top 9-2. Southeastern has their first points of the game. They got those last possession. 4:02 left in the first quarter. Wildcats looking for an opportunity.
Nice ball movement.
It's quick and concise. Malloy fires one.
I didn't count the number of passes there, but I'm guessing it's probably about 7 or 8 passes. I don't know if the ball touched the ground until Megan started going into the basket right there. That's great offense.
So, substitutions made for the Wildcats. Number 14, freshman Skylar Resendiz comes into the game along with number 12, Tess Sylvia. So with Resendiz out on the court, Westport isn't losing any defensive power. She's done a great job overall on the court this year in her first year on the varsity team. George, 3. That one rolls off the rim. Sylvia couldn't stick with it that time. Second time tonight, George is attempted from the near sideline. Ortega will take it for 3 again. That one.
Nice box out by Skylar Resendiz right there.
Sylvia in trouble, finds George.
Ooh, good look. Nice pass. Coach Gargiulo went to her bench right there, but Tess Sylvia comes off the bench and just gives a spark to that energy. The first team there kind of starts getting a little tired 7 minutes in, but Tess comes in and brings that spark.
Southeastern back in control. Dina Blaze taking it herself. It's back out, rejected by Resendiz. Great job sticking with her man that time. 2:55 left on the clock. Ortega's going to inbound it for the Hawks. Surveys the floor. And couldn't get the ball off in time, so that ball goes back to the Lady Wildcats. Now Holden's going to take her time. The Wildcats are going to set things in motion here. And foul that time called on number 22, Kiara Velouz for the Southeastern Hawks. That'll be the first foul of the game for either of these teams. And it has been a little quiet on the scoreboard for both, so Wildcats want to keep up the offensive momentum. Still up 9-2 with 2:34 left in the first quarter. Perry darts one to Resendiz. Layup comes.
Contact right there. I'm surprised that was a no call.
Interesting you mentioned that. The refs have been letting them play quite a bit tonight. Not too many calls. It's going to be one that time. So the Wildcats put number 5, Mia Ortega, on the line. She's shot quite a few tonight so far for the Hawks, just hasn't been able to hit one. First one, no good, up short. Still is the second.
Coach G asking for the necklace to come off. I wonder if that's a tactic to freeze the shooter right here. Makes the game pause so she can take her necklace off. Every point counts, Jack. Every point.
Yeah. Messes up the flow there.
You know, anything to get that edge.
So Ortega, after the quick interruption, will hit the second shot.
Coach G's tactics didn't pay off there. The shooter was not frozen at the line.
So Wildcats up by only 6 now. Call against Southeastern that time. Holden finds George wide open. Take it for 3. Shot no good. George has it again at the top of the key. She's going to work it inside to Perry. Perry fires a 2. Rolls off the rim. George sticking with it.
Play by Julia George.
Ooh. Pass by Holden that time, just a little too high. Couldn't connect with Perry. Ortega fires one into the hands of Tessa Palm. She wasn't ready for that one either.
Great ball pressure by Julia George. I feel like I've said her name like 10 times tonight on hustle plays. She gave great pressure on the ball right there, forced the bad pass. Very impressed with Julia so far.
And back on that, when the offense were on, or when the Wildcats were back on offense, took a shot on the perimeter, worked it back out to the perimeter, then passed inside and was ready to rebound the shot when it didn't go.
I know Southeastern's playing zone, but it looks like they're really focusing on trying to take away Corinne Holden, and so far it hasn't been successful because we've had so many other Wildcats step up to score, and they're really working the ball around the zone well and getting good shots from there.
So with 1:38 left in the first quarter, Wildcats have not scored in the past few minutes, but still continue to make opportunities. Westport still up 9-3. Back after the timeout will be Southeastern ball. This one, once again, inbounded by Ortega. Ortega finds Blaze. Great defense by Tess Sylvia that time. Now Perry steals the ball. And Westport comes up a little short that time. Holden couldn't get the layup to land. Ortega from the top of the key fires a 3 and sinks it. So Southeastern now cuts the lead down to 3. Wildcats need to start getting the offense back on track.
That was a very impressive shot by Mia Ortega right there. Off the screen, about 2 feet behind the 3-point line.
Perry stopped in her tracks that time. Can't get past Velouz. George fires and that one rolls off the clear. No good for the Wildcats once again. Ortega, shot comes up short, rebounded by Resendiz.
Looks like they're gonna go a quick 2-for-1 here on the shot clock. Nice pass.
That one
Pass, good finish.
sinks in for the freshman, Skylar Resendiz. Shot clock is off with 26 seconds left to play.
That layup by Skylar just ended like a 4-minute drought or so where Westport hasn't scored.
They need it. Get back up by 5 here. And with 16 seconds left, plenty of time to add to the score. Holden, deep 2.
Another offensive rebound.
Silvio takes it. Swish for Tess Silvio from downtown. She'll get a trifecta and make it an 8-point game.
All starts with Skylar's offensive rebound. Great kick out, good ball movement for the knockdown 3.
So that really did, like you said, got the offense back on track for the Wildcats. Now, game was a 3-point game, and now Wildcats found themselves back up by 8, 14-6. For Southeastern, they've been relying a whole lot on players like Ortega and Blaze, but Westport's done a great job of shutting them down, not giving them too many opportunities.
Westport's been very patient with the zone so far. They came out 7-0 quick, then they scored. It was 9-0. Southeastern called a timeout, settled into the game. Westport went about 4 or 5 minutes without scoring, and then they just scored a quick 5 points to end out the quarter, kind of extend the lead. So as long as Westport keeps finding answers for the zone right now, hopefully they can continue to extend their lead.
And hopefully the Wildcats can keep the offense hot going into the second quarter. One thing that's important to note, back when they played another rather important game versus Joseph Case in late December, the Wildcats were kind of hot and cold on offense, and they couldn't keep it consistent.
Coach Gargiulo gave me strict orders not to talk about that game because that was the one other game I've been to this year, and that was the one game that Westport lost. So I have to take credit for that loss as being the jinx of the night.
Well, we'll have to be sure not to bring that up for the rest of the night. Wildcats with the ball to start the second quarter.
Nice skip pass. It's a good shot.
Holden's three, no good. George will take it wide open. Rolls in and out. Rebounded by Kyla Bernard.
Here's something you're never going to see on a stat sheet right there. Julia misses the shot, sprints in after an own shot, causes the jump ball. Now Westport has the next possession arrow coming back. But that's something you'll never see on a stat sheet. It's just hustle.
What would you call that? Dedication? Has to be to this team.
Yep, I would.
Teixeira stopped by Sylvia. Ortega fires another one from deep. That one pinballs around. Can't find its way in. Rebounded by Perry that time. George wastes no time. Great pass to Holden with the layup.
Way to run the floor right there by Corinne, and Julia keeping her eyes up, pass down the court for an easy layup.
Now Westport starting to apply the pressure once again on defense. The timeout will be taken by Southeastern there. So, first about minute and a half of the second quarter. Wildcats up by 10 now. Nothing's changed so far. Number 15, Megan Malloy, back into the game for the Wildcats. And Southeastern with the ball after the timeout.
Looks like Coach Gargiulo is trying to keep one of our fastest lineups here with Holden, George, Tess Sylvia all in it together, try and provide some speed in the front of the zone right here.
Could see at that time Holden and Sylvia immediately, almost looks like they tackled Ortega that time.
Very curious how the ref can call that fall from the baseline when there's two girls with their back in front of the ball.
So with that, Wildcats will draw the first foul of the second quarter. Jump ball that time. Wildcats will win it. 6:24 left in this first half. Holden's going to take it up the court leisurely while the Wildcats will set things in motion. That pass contested that time. Malloy's going to fight for it. Malloy rejected by LaPalme. Ortega only hit that one field goal at the top of the key so far this game. She's been shooting quite a bit. She's come up with the ball again. She has three men on her.
Every single loose ball there's been so far, there's been a Wildcat diving on the floor to try and get it. They haven't always gotten it, but they're the first one to dive on the floor for it.
You look at the players in those situations, it's the three listed off before. It's either Sylvia, Holden, or George. Wildcats still up by 10, 16-6. Perry connects with Malloy that time. Was shot just up short off the front of the rim. Now,
You saw that Westport spends a lot of time running their offensive sets because every single time someone catches the ball, they know where the other 4 girls are going to be on the floor. It's quick ball movement, quick passes. It's clearly they spend a lot of time working on that.
Malloy almost had a hand on it that time. That was a layup for Corinne Holden. Puts the Wildcats up 18-6. 2 attempts there by LaPalme. Rebounded her own shot. Couldn't get either to land. 4:47 left in the second quarter and first half. Another substitution made for the Wildcats. Egby back in the game in substitution for number 30, Sarah Perry. Egby's going to hand it off to Sylvia now. Pass on the inside to Malloy. Egby was fighting for it that time. Westport lost control of the ball. Just got outmanned that time.
You can tell Westport has a very efficient offense because there's not a ton of dribbling. It's a lot of constant quick passes. They move the ball from one side of the zone to the other. There's not a lot of dribbling and trying to get into the lanes. They just keep passing until they get an open shot.
Less the ball's on the court, less you got a chance of someone stealing it, taking it right out of your hands.
Typically, dribbling just slows down an offense. It kind of stalls things out. Everyone watches the dribbler wondering what they're going to do, but when they're just passing like that, it just keeps things very fast, very efficient.
Ortega from way downtown. Her second of the night. That was a lot of power into that shot.
That had to have been a solid 5 feet beyond the three-point line. She could shoot.
So Southeastern cuts the Wildcat lead to 9. 18-9, Westport up. Low pass that time from Sylvia to Holden. George will take it for 3. That one bounced off the clear, couldn't find its way in. And that time, Ludani Texera right on top of it, ready. Pass by Ortega that time. Holden on the breakaway, coast to coast. Bounced in and out, recovers her own shot.
Got to give number 5 credit right there for the hustle. Just enough to give Corinne a little uncomfortable for the layup, but that was a great hustle by her.
She's been in no man's land quite a bit tonight. Couldn't stick with Holden that time. That's 2 more for Corinne Holden, 20-9.
Good job by Corinne to stick with it. She missed the layup, she went back, she gets the steal, she goes down and finally finishes the layup. Good job by Corinne.
Number 30, Sarah Perry, back in the game for the Wildcats. A lot of small rotations to the lineup for the Wildcats. They've been adjusting as the game's been going on, but not seeing major changes. Perry.
So far, Coach G's only played 7 players so far, but doing a lot of quick substitutions, so making sure that all 7 of them stay very fresh.
Blaze called for the travel way on the far sideline. One of the things that has hurt the Southeastern Hawks so far tonight has been turnovers. Play has not been the neatest.
Again, I think you got to give credit to some of the guards that are out playing perimeter defense right now, crushing the ball, forcing Southeastern to make some lazy passes, making them catch the ball in some uncomfortable spots far away from the three-point line. All that is the type of stuff that leads to a lot of turnovers.
That's worked out for the Wildcats. So, Egby lands right into Kiara Valouz that time. Almost looked like she hesitated for a moment there. Looked like she maybe would get a foul and is instead called for the travel. Ortega lands another as
was watching Tess go right into that screen. It was a clean screen. The player didn't do anything wrong, but I don't think Tess saw it, and she just went directly into it pretty hard. Probably got the wind knocked out of her, if I had to guess.
So Sylvia down on the court. So it's probably, like you said, she did probably get the wind knocked out of her. Hit the court hard, but thankfully everything's okay there. It looks to be, just have to catch your breath for a little bit. In for Sylvia comes Skylar Resendiz. Now, under 2 minutes left to play in this first half. Exactly 1:35. Wildcats with the ball up by 8. George muscles her way through 2 defenders. But one of the things the Wildcats have done a great job of tonight is penetrating through the perimeter defense of Southeastern.
They are, and they're doing a lot of passing. They're getting the ball right to the middle of the zone, and that's how you break a zone. You got to get the ball to the middle and have to have the zone collapse.
Jenna Egby rejects Texera that time. Texera is going to take back her own shot. Comes up short now.
Nice rebound. We got 2-on-1. Good ball movement. Great ball movement by Julia and Corinne.
So connecting
I
pass.
respect how Julia was very unselfish there. She probably could have laid that in herself. Instead, she passed it back to Corinne.
Looks to be another foul on the court for number 22 for Southeastern. Yeah, so the connecting pass for the Wildcats there. Back up by 10, 22-12. They continue to maintain control of this game. About 50 seconds left. Pass by Resendiz. George wasn't ready for it that time. So the Hawks back with the ball. Ortega in no man's land is going to hand it off to Blaze. Blaze. Ball back out on the perimeter. Holden went down hard on the court too. It's a very physical Southeastern team. Now Texera goes down.
It's a questionable call right there. You let a very physical screen let go, then you let a very aggressive contact on the ball, but then you call a little Nicky Knack hand slap.
Didn't seem like a
questionable.
Yeah, didn't seem like a strong enough foul.
I wouldn't disagree that it was a foul, but I think there were two things before that you definitely could have called the foul too. And they did.
One thing though,
Well, we move on.
Yeah.
10 seconds left in that.
Wildcats likely be last hands on the ball in this half. Perry fires a 2. That one comes up short into the hands of Blaze. And Westport will stay up by 10. Low-scoring affair so far tonight, but they're still up. It's 22-12. So far, Mr. Grinfield, what are your positives and negatives for the Wildcats so far in that first half?
It's got to be the hustle that they're showing. I think Julia George was the player of the first half right there, the player of the game so far. They have really good ball pressure on the wings. They're forcing a lot of turnovers. To start the game, Westport was running really fast, playing the full length of the court. Southeastern kind of made it a half-court game. I think Westport's got to kind of turn into that full-court track meet and extend it and try and keep the pace of game fast right now.
And for the Southeastern Hawks, one thing is they've been relying a whole lot on number 5, Mia Ortega. Can't really do that in a game where you're getting pretty much dominated on offense. With the addition of Ludani Texera into their lineup on the court, they have been able to get a little more movement on the ball, trying to penetrate inside the paint, but that has come up short. One thing, though, for the Hawks, they need to start creating more opportunities for other players. Can't rely on one player to do all the work.
I thought that number 22, I think it's Kiara Villas, came in a little bit in the second quarter there and really created an impact, sending some solid screens, getting some rebounds, just really being a presence in there, and it kind of threw Westport for a loop. So I'll be interested to see if they kind of create a two-man game between Ortega and Kiara Villas for the second half.
All right, we will be back for more action after the half. All right, so back for the second half of play. Score at the end of the first half was 22-12. Before we begin, before play resumes, want to give a big shout out to Westport Community TV for allowing us to stream and record these games. Posting them live wouldn't be possible without them. So now, back for the third quarter of play. Southeastern Hawks will start off with it. Oh, never mind. Only the Wildcats. Maybe works the ball back outside to Holden. Ball tackled by Texera. Rather aggressive start to the second half for Southeastern. Can they respond on offense, though? Blue set the...
Julo coming out in the boxing one right now in the second half. They're running boxing. Looks like they're trying to deny Mio Ortega the ball in the second half.
Westport, however, going to start. They'll draw first blood of the second half. That one, Megan Malloy, she has 6 this game now.
With this full court pressure, too, and Mio Ortega being the ball handler, I think Coach G is trying to make her have to pass the ball and have to make her not go coast to score and try and get other people for Southeastern to be the ones who have to score. It's a good strategy so far for Coach G coming out in the second half.
Wildcats look to keep it up on offense. Malloy sticks with the ball that time after losing it. No pressure from Southeastern. Holden.
Westport's home fans hurting them right there. They were counting down 3-2-1 when really it was 13-12
yeah.
11 on the shot clock.
Not fair to the players on the court there that time. Blues tries to work her way around Perry.
That was a nice move.
Texera fires. One comes up short. Egby right on top of that. He's going to give it back to the Lady Wildcats. Malloy spins off of Texera, hands it off to Egby. It's ejected off the iron into the hands of number 25, Tessa LaPalme. Ortega
Perry just got hit hard right there by Jenna by accident. Definitely got hit in the face pretty hard.
Holden threw a Hail Mary that time. Perry was still down court. Don't think she was ready for it. Still recovering from getting knocked around that time by her own teammate. So 5:36 left to play in the third quarter. Wildcats still up by 12. It's 24-12. But they put number 24, Adina Blaze, on the line. So she'll get 2. First one falls by the wayside, hits the glass. Number 14, Skylar Resendiz, comes into the game in substitution for number 30, Sarah Perry. Palm tried with the 2. So Blaze couldn't hit either, but Southeastern comes out with the ball. Rebound that time by LaPalme. Ortega back in control of the ball. Time for Westport to apply the pressure. She'll take it on the baseline. Bounces off the rim. Rebounded by Egby. Jenna Egby, a couple good rebounds this game. Any possessions for Southeastern early. Holden will take it on the line. Comes up short.
Nice offensive rebound by Skylar.
Attacks the ball. George looking for some assistance that time. Ball's worked inside to Resendiz.
You know, Skylar's only a freshman, but I'm very impressed with her game. She goes in, she's fearless, she holds her own.
She's a great addition to this Wildcat roster.
She plays far beyond her years for being a freshman.
So, Jenna Egby fouled. She'll take 2 from the foul line now. Look to extend the Wildcat lead. Still nothing in the second half so far for Southeastern. We're about halfway through this third quarter. In that first half, Mia Ortega, number 5 for the Hawks, 10 out of their 12 points.
Probably why Coach G switched to the box and won in the second half. My only concern with that is, you know, you're going to have Corinne or you're going to have Tess or Julia guarding her. You don't want to tire them out trying to deny somebody, because that's a very exhausting task to do, is to just deny somebody, follow them wherever they go and try and deny them the ball. So we'll see how it works out and how long she sticks with it.
Well, that hasn't translated so far in the offense. Still very up-tempo. Strip that time. Skylar Resendiz, wise words from Coach Gargiulo. Wildcats up 25-12. Shot by Bernard, rolls off the iron. Now, Holden tried to pass it to Resendiz that time. LaPalme was right there. Ooh. George that time tried to make a smart play that time. Thought it bounced off of her last, but it will be
Totally
Wildcat
fair.
ball.
I think the ref missed that call there. Julia tried to throw it off of the player from Southeastern's foot, and it hit off the foot and bounced off of Julia's jersey.
Ooh, that one ricochets.
It's not in a position to see that.
No.
It's okay. It benefits Westport, so
Yeah.
I'm not complaining.
Perry once again goes down on the court that time on that possession. So she's been banged up a couple times in this third quarter. Be a reach over called on Sarah Perry. Put number 3, Kyla Bernard, on the line for Southeastern. This could be Southeastern's first points of the second quarter here with second half with 3:41 left in the third quarter.
Mia Ortega's being denied right now, and that was probably the first good look she's been able to get so far, but she was very deep beyond the three-point line. She's already knocked a couple down, though, so she's proven she can hit those, but I wonder if she's starting to get a little frustrated with sort of the pressure that Westport's showing at her right now.
And I think in addition to that pressure, they might also be forcing her to give up the ball early. She has to take those really deep shots from no man's land. She's got nothing easy right on the line. Great. Works it out to Malloy. And Holden's going to save that ball. That was a close pass under pressure by Egby. That'll be a jump ball. Timeout taken by Westport. I think they've been frustrated with the past few possessions on offense. They've come up short a couple times.
The referees are kind of letting a lot of contact go, and I think it's starting to frustrate Westport a little bit.
Wildcats still denying, despite the struggle on offense this past few possessions, still denying Southeastern anything big. So far, the Hawks just have one free throw. It is 25-13. I think if it weren't for Perry getting banged up early on in this third quarter, I don't think Westport would have made any subs so far. They've stuck pretty much the starting lineup. I wonder if that's possible because of the increased defensive pressure that Southeastern's put on. And like you said, a lack of calls. Julia George at the helm. Finds Holden. Darts one to her in the far corner. Works it inside the Malloy.
What a nice up and under right there. got the Southeastern defender out of position. She went right underneath, caused the foul, and hopefully she gets 2 points here at the free throw line.
So Malloy with 2. Fires the first. First one falls dead off the back of the rim. Still's the second. Look to make it a 13-point game if she can hit this one. Oh, couple bounces that time. Ball couldn't land. And with the rebound is Mia Ortega. Plays, works it to Bernard. 3 from the arc. No good. Great footwork by Julia George that time, getting the ball over the half. Now, Wildcats back on the offensive side of the ball. Perry will take it for 2. Comes up short.
Jenna. Oh, nice try.
Egby right on top of it that time.
Sarah had a really nice looking jump shot right there. Good look at the basket, just didn't fall for her.
Wildcats still up by 12. Score has not changed for the past 2 minutes. It's 25-13. Jenna Egby rejects LaPalme. One of the best defensive plays of the game so far.
I like how Jenny just stays cool, calm, and collected after it too. You know, she's been there before. She's confident in her defense.
So all business on the court for Jenna Egby. Ortega.
It was a nice box out by Megan Malloy. It was just such a far rebound that unfortunately goes to the Southeastern player, but she was in a good position for a box out there.
Holden's going to take it coast to coast. That one rolls off, can't find its way in either. Malloy with the rebound, though.
Got to give Mia Ortega some credit there because most players would probably fall Corinne there for the layup, try not to let her score. Instead, she kind of cut Corinne off and made Corinne have to alter her shot, which resulted in the missed layup. And it's a really heads-up play.
And one for Corinne Holden. She's going to make it by Texera that time. She'll take it for 1. So first points for the Wildcats in a few minutes. It's 1:45 left on the clock.
Those points are coming in transition too, which Southeastern wants this to be a half-court game. Westport needs to make this a full-court game, scoring in transition, scoring off the steals, press breakers, things like that. So let's see if Westport can shift the tempo here.
They've had a few opportunities to do that, and Westport, past 2-3 possessions, they've had at minimum 2 chances to get the ball in the basket and just come up short.
Westport has to start knocking down some free throws. It's at least 3 free throws they've missed right there in the past couple of possessions. So some
it's like
left off the board at the free throw line right now.
It's like you said earlier, every point matters. That one, pass from Texera into the hands of Holden. Ortega wasn't ready for it. Holden spins off of Ortega, land hard on the court. We'll shake it off. So 1:14 left in the third quarter. Wildcats up 27-13. And Corinne Holden will go to the foul line for 2.
You know, I was here the other night when Corinne scored 1,000th point, and I was thinking about it afterwards. It's pretty impressive too, because for her to score 1,000 points when last year she played with Leah Sylvain, who was also a 1,000-point scorer. You don't typically have 2,000-point scorers on the same team in high school basketball playing together. Obviously, they're 2 different years, but they're on the same team for a majority of their careers. It's pretty impressive.
She's the 5th ever for the Wildcats in the history of the program. Holden couldn't hit the first, still is the second. Knocks down number 2. So, Wildcats extend the lead to 15, up 28-13. This crowd for Westport started to really pick it up in the second half.
I think that's the boys' team here waiting for their practice after this game, but it's good to see that they're bringing some energy right now.
Holden, uncontested from under the rim. She'll lay in 2. Timeout taken, 30-13. So if you're Southeastern right now, the Wildcats are starting to pull away, have about 9 minutes left in total for play left in this game, and you only have 1 point to respond to the Wildcats. Do believe it's been 8 so far?
8 points so
8
far?
points.
Well, it's all coming from the free throw line in transition, so that's kind of where Southeastern needs to make some adjustments to how they get Westport back into a half-court game right now. Because right now Westport's trying to pick it up. They're trying to get a lot of ball pressure on the wing, some steals, some outlets for easy baskets, or they're going to the foul line and they're scoring with the clock stopped, which is always tough to come back from. You don't want teams scoring when the clock is stopped.
And one thing we usually don't see from the Wildcat team, like you just said, they're not a run-and-gun kind of team. Don't see them constantly taking shots from the perimeter, very unlike the Southeastern team.
Look at the ball pressure right here on the wings. You got Sarah Perry coming out from the block. You got Corinne Holding applying heavy pressure too. Meanwhile, Julia George is denying Mia Ortega from getting the pass back. So that takes away a lot of passing options right there, which is leading to turnovers.
So Ortega knocks down the first, makes it 30-14, still is the second. So Mia Ortega.
She's a very good shooter. She's got very nice form. She can knock it down. Westport's doing a good job this half trying to take her away.
Dropped a couple feathers in the basket that time, just swished right in. It's 30-15, Wildcats up by 15. Perry thought about it that time. Ooh. Ball just slips through the fingers.
Credit to Megan Malloy. She has the turnover. She doesn't give up. She runs back and gets the steal herself.
Wasn't ready to give that ball up.
Some kids will just put their head down, they pout, they get mad, but not Megan. She hustles back and gets the steal. Good for her.
That hustle, well, it won't be Malloy exactly, but we'll put Sarah Perry on the line. 8.8 seconds left. Talk about shooting without the clock. It's a lot of free points here for the Wildcats if they can hit them. That's going to be good for Sarah Perry. Now with the second. Sarah Perry makes a splash on the second. It is 32-15, 17-point lead for the Wildcats. A clock running down for Southeastern. There's 2 seconds left. And Ortega there can't get anything past Julia George.
Again, good ball pressure there. Mia couldn't even look up to see how much time was on the clock because she had Julia George right in her face applying the pressure for her. Good job.
One thing, though, is when you're a player on the court, you want to be aware of the clock. In moments like that, you only got about 5 seconds left, but can't do much in a situation like that. So we enter the final quarter of play. Wildcats maintain control, 32-15. Southeastern so far only 3 points in the second half.
Jack, you got Owen Boudger asking if you can come up here and be a guest speaker. I don't know what your thoughts are. I told him no, but I'll let you make the executive call.
Sure, we can invite him up here for a little bit towards the end of the game. So now, final quarter of play underway. The Wildcats with the ball.
Fast here. Got a couple of baskets, try and get 6 points unanswered, and try and put this game away.
Perry sticks with the ball that time.
There we go. There's the first 2.
Now Perry with 2 more. Perry stepped up her offensive game. She's had a couple baskets in the second half. 34-15.
Westport got a quick 2 points. They got their stop. Try and get a basket here. And that could be all you need tonight to win this one. Try and get some players off the bench in.
Pressured by Perry that time. Talk about those quick passes. Looked like a little too quick that time. Just didn't double check if Holden was there. So that one passed right into the hands of LaPalme.
Sarah makes up for it on the defensive end.
Applied the pressure to Texera that time. And one thing that has to be exhausting for Southeastern is constantly chasing Corinne Holden back and forth across the court. It's her third or fourth breakaway in the past 5 minutes. Wildcats make it a 20-point game, and Holden still has her second shot. Ejected off the back of the rim. Holden rebounds her own shot. Handed into Egby. Stay Wildcat ball. So 7:09 left to play in this matchup. Wildcats have the ball back. Great start to the fourth quarter.
Kind of asked for a better start for Coach Padrula. Nice jump.
Right on the baseline there.
One dribble, pull-up jumper from the baseline. Very nice. And the steal, the outlet. Here we go. This is exactly what Westport needed.
Dominating in this fourth quarter. Holden with two more. 39-15.
I think the boys basketball team down there in the student section has come up with some different cheers other than the hip hip hooray. They've executed that chant like 10 times already. So tomorrow at lunch, Jack, I'm going to leave it up to you to make sure that they come up with some new cheers, okay?
Yeah, be important. Well, there you go, Mr. Granville, switching it up a little bit.
They must have heard me.
Lady Wildcats back in control. 6:17 left to play. Sarah will take it for the deep two. From off the iron that time. Rebounded by Ortega. She has it now. That will be Amara Mendez. She hasn't gotten a lot of offensive opportunities this game for Southeastern, but
That was a nice rebound by Jenna. She just jumped up and ripped that thing right out of the air.
I'd say if you're looking for a defensive player of the game, it might be Egby.
Between her or Julia. Personally, if you're going strictly defense, it could be Jenna. Julia, I think, is going to be the player of the game in my book tonight.
Now timeout taken. Under 6 minutes left to play in this one. The Wildcats have stopped Southeastern. They've put, I do believe it's 5 on the board so far in this fourth quarter.
Jenna probably has a lot of defensive stats. She's got a few blocks, plenty of rebounds, a couple of baskets. We got Corinne, who has plenty of the breakaway layups right now, but I think a lot of it comes down to Julia George, her defensive presence, plenty of steals, diving on the floor, great passes. And again, I said earlier, not all that stuff is going to show up in the stat sheet, but she's really executing. I think she's kind of the unsung hero, X factor of this game right now.
And when you talk about all these attributes that all these players show on the court, talk about just, like you said with Julia George, the hustle. It's something super special about the team, and it makes the team just a step better than the competition, and it's going to come really important in a couple weeks for states.
Yeah, a lot of times it comes down to who wants it more. You know, those 50-50 balls that you always hear about, each possession being executed. And right now, Westport's executing. I mean, you can count the passes right now. That's 4. 4 passes, ball hasn't touched the ground. 5, 6. There's 6 passes. They had 1 dribble there. It was really just to advance into the pass. We got a nice wide open shot right there. It didn't fall, but that's perfect offense right there.
Big positive play for the Southeastern on offense now. And I'll be Ludiani Texera. She'll get the and one. Looking for the extra point. It's 39-17. And with the game time running down, about 5.5 minutes left, Wildcats starting to put in some subs. That's number 5 freshman Kylie Hazel. That's her first time on the court this game.
Interesting to see Kylie play. I haven't seen her play. I know she got Harold News Player of the Week a couple weeks ago, and I congratulate her. I'm excited to see her finish out this game here.
One thing for the Wildcats is their freshman additions to the team have been very strong this year.
Yeah, if you're Coach Gargiulo, you got to feel very happy about that. You got freshmen who are already contributing big roles. 3 years left after this year, and definitely a supporting cast that you can build around.
One of the big things for the Lady Wildcats heading in this year is how are you going to make up for not only just the offensive production, because you talk about Leah Sylvain last year, how she was she had a 1,000-point career, just like Holden. Talk about how they're going to make up for that offensive and defensive loss. And they've done a great job of that this year.
Yeah, that's a very well-balanced attack. For instance, the leading scorer is probably averaging about 18 a game. But they're scoring 50, 60 points a game, so the points are coming from other places too. I know Jenna's averaging around 10 points a game, so I think it's a well-balanced attack other than just Corinne.
Shot by Perry off the clear that time. Rebounded by Kyla Bernard. Five consecutive points on offense for Southeastern. That's the most momentum they've had so far this game. However, under 4 minutes left to play, Wildcats still up by 19. Might be a little too late. Wildcats back in control.
Megan Malloy has some really good post moves. Really good up and under. Nice pass.
Working out to Hazel. Kylie Hazel from the arc.
That's a very impressive pass by Megan. I was a post player myself, and I know it's really tough to see the opposite end of the court. When you catch it down in the post to see who's behind you, who's open. That's just a sense that Megan has.
She's done a great job
Kylie
this game.
Hazel was able to knock down the shot. It's pretty impressive, too. This is the first action of the night for Kylie, and she comes off the bench and knocks down her first shot. That's not easy to do.
It was a deep one. Wasn't a three, but right on the line there. Still excellent shot.
First shot in basketball, foot on the line.
Ooh. She had another shot that time. Couldn't get it to land. Now, be a couple on the perimeter for the Wildcats. None land. And Ortega sandwiched between Holden and George is going to spit the ball out. 41-20. Wildcats still up by 21. 2:30 left to play, and Ortega is now on the foul line. Wildcats have really shut her down. She has not done much in this second half for the Hawks. Except on the foul line.
She's gone to the foul line a few times. She's a great shooter. She's knocking down her shots, but Coach Gargiulo switched to the boxing one to try and eliminate her, but she hasn't gone away. She's done a great job handling the boxing one. Pretty good sign of being a pretty good player when you can handle a boxing one like that.
She'll go 2 for 2 once again on the foul line. Cuts the Wildcat lead down to 19. George muscles her way through that time. Malloy almost with a rebound. George collided with Bernard.
Great play by Corinne to cut her off and not. A lot of players like to swing and try and block the shot there.
High pass from Holden, connects with George. Hazel wide open, she'll take it. That one comes up just short. Malloy and George were right on top of it that time. Under 2 minutes left to play, exactly 1:58. Another timeout taken by Wildcats. At this point, just looking to close out this game, have the 19-point lead.
At this point, Coach Gardullo, you just got to make sure everyone stays focused on the game. You don't get, no late game technicals or anything like that because things get carried away. So it's just kind of making sure everyone stays calm, closing out this game the right way, and you want to start working on some things too that will help you for tournament play, making sure that you run your offense correctly, you're getting the looks that you need. So I'm sure that's what the message is during this timeout.
And despite them having a very strong double-digit lead over Southeastern, the Hawks have not disappointed this game. They've been a very physical team, and they have been a good contest for the Wildcats. So, like you said, all that's important.
They've had a lot of good-looking shots tonight. They just haven't really fallen, and every team has their bad shooting nights, and this could just be one of them. But I'm sure they'll be pretty successful in the tournament themselves.
Looked to be a little confusion on the court between the officials and Coach Gargiulo that time. And I think it's a debate over whose ball it is. Looks to be Southeastern. Blaze will inbound it. She's back in the game for the Hawks. Texera's going to take her time. Now number 15, Nia Breedy set the pick that time. Allowed Texera to work her way around Malloy. Malloy.
Nice defensive rotation by Megan to get her hand on the ball there because it could have been an easy layup if she didn't make that slide.
Second time this game, Southeastern could not find a man.
I think the inbounder had their foot on the inbound there, which is violation.
Still, it's costly mistakes like that you can't make.
It's excitement, though. I know I saw that player playing in the JV game, so got to be excited to get some varsity minutes right now. And sometimes the nerves get the best of each other.
That's number 24, Dina Blaze. She's had a big part in this game. She's had a couple shots on offense, just haven't hit a ton of them. Shot by Resendi. She's going to fight for her own jump ball. Will be white ball. So great job by Skylar Resendiz that time sticking with it. She's going to win the ball back. Holden surveys. Finds George. 1:10 left to play in the game. Malloy fires a low shot that time. That's Blaze back in control. One of the only times on the court tonight we've seen Ortega off for the Southeastern Hawks. Bernard take it for a deep two. Arcs over the rim. Under a minute left to play here. 52 seconds exactly. Wildcats take the ball back. They're still up by 19. At this point, just trying to close it out. Holden takes her time. Skylar Resendiz cut right through that time.
You can hear Coach G kind of coaching each point of the play right there. So it could be a new play that was just installed that you're looking to try and have in your back pocket for tournament time. So that's the type of things you work on here at the end of the game.
Great execution, worked out well.
What do you know? Another defensive steal there. Good ball pressure.
Holden was going to lob it up that time, and she fell to the baseline. Keeps it in bound for the Wildcats. Julia George with the three off the glass. Megan Malloy with the rebound to end the game. So the first meetup between these teams earlier on in the season was close. It was a 6-point win for the Wildcats. And this one will come out on top by 23. Final score 45-22.
Could have been the home court advantage tonight. I mean, we've got the boys basketball team here cheering on and bringing some energy. Don't forget, this was voted one of the best atmospheres of high school basketball on the South Coast, and we don't even have the pep band here tonight. That's all stuff that can contribute to a home court advantage, but good to see Westport pull out a late season win here and keep building some momentum into the tournament.
So now, the Wildcats will improve to 15-1 on the season. Have 4 games left, including that will be games over February break versus Cape Cod Academy in Blue Hills. Now, Cape Cod Academy, I don't believe the Wildcats have played. Kind of an unfamiliar opponent. That will be a game to look out for. But for now, I'm Jack Keene.
I'm Mike Granfield. Thanks for having me, Jack.
Of course, it's always a pleasure, Mr. Granfield. And this has been Westport Varsity Girls Basketball.